Seed Illinois State Redbirds 24-8 on the year against the top seeds, the Panthers of Northern Iowa. They're 22 and
Holloway has made 2 already. And of course, Northern Iowa wants to probe the interior with their size advantage.
And this man has 8 of Northern Iowa's points. Kajo Aheligba.
Well, he's a power guard, Dick. You know, he loves to get to the paint. He'll take threes, but he's the physical nature. 195, he can get into the blue area.
Long three, well outside the line, and Osiris Eldridge pulls down the rebound. He's their number 2 rebounder, 6 a game, averaging almost 14 points per game. Nice move inside by the little man Phillips. That won't go down. Cook rebounds. Northern Iowa leading with the ball, 10-6. And running the show is Kajo Aheligba, 6'2" sophomore from Oakdale, Minnesota, outside St. Paul. Here's Cook. And he picks up the charge. And we go to our first timeout. Just under 5 minutes played here in St. Louis. And Northern Iowa, the number 1 seeds in Arch Madness, lead by 4. And welcome back to St. Louis, where Northern Iowa, the top seeds, have a 4-point lead against Illinois State. Dick Enberg, Bob Wenzel, 15 years a head coach, and you know as well as anyone in this building how important this game is for these young kids. A chance for their dream to get to the big tournament.
It's so true, Dick. When you play in a championship game, you remember it for the rest of your life. It's imprinted in your brain, win or lose.
And for Illinois State last year, they were demolished in their hopes as Drake took them out by 30 points. So head coach Tim Jankovic hoping his team will respond more favorably today against Northern Iowa, the number 1 seeds. Each team with a victory today will match their school's best ever winning season.
And they've been raining threes so far. Both teams 2 for 4 from downtown, and Aheligba has 8 of the 10 points for his team.
Here's Eldridge yet to score. And the long bomb by Holloway. He has 2 trays for the 6 points for Illinois State.
Boy, this guy really controls their team, doesn't he? I mean, he's got the bounce the whole time.
Rarely, yeah, on the dribble, he's so strong, isn't he?
Rarely does anybody else put the ball on the floor to go anywhere. Lots of multiple screens away from the ball for Northern Iowa.
2 new men on the court for Northern Iowa, Kerwin Dunham and Lucas O'Rear. O'Rear was the 6th man of the year in the Valley, and there's Aheligba, and he has 10 points early. How's that for a start?
10 of their 12. At this rate, he's going to match Pete Maravich's average of 33.
After a terrific game yesterday, Oguchi looking for his first 3 and delivers. He's their top scorer at 15 a game.
Oguchi, a very interesting story. You mentioned he went to Oregon, played for 3 years. He made the all-tournament team at the Pac-10 by getting 6 threes in 2 consecutive games. He's streaky.
This is Dunham in the corner, the reserve, and back out to Aheligba. It's a mouthful. This is a tongue-twisting Northern Iowa team. Even their coach has trouble. He said, you better put the easy names, Moran and Cook, in the middle when you do the lineups of all the other multisyllabic surnames. This is O'Rear, and the number 6 man in the league delivers on his first attempt.
6'6", 265, the strong man for this group.
Here comes Illinois State. They shot 13 for 19 outside the arc yesterday. They're 3 for 6 today. Phillips well off the mark. Aheligba comes the other way. And he's strong enough to take it inside, draws the foul. It'll go against Lloyd Phillips, the junior from Washington, D.C., his first.
These 2 teams have played twice, and Northern Iowa has won both of those games.
And they were thrillers, both of them. One went 2 overtimes, and the other one, at 19 seconds to go, was a 1-point game. So these 2 teams, Illinois State, Northern Iowa, they're as well matched as you could find. Inside, and an easy score, and that's Adam Rodenberg, junior from Garnaville, Iowa.
Subs in for Northern Iowa at the 4 and 5 spots.
Illinois State looking for its first points inside. They don't have a 2-point goal yet, and we played nearly 8 minutes. Good save by Holloway to keep it in play for the Redbirds. Oguchi. And Rodenberg rammed into by Brandon Sampay, and Sampay has the foul. Sampay just entered the game. He's a 6'8" senior from Inglewood, California, number 41.
Dick, when you make 13 of 19 threes one day, you tend to fall in love with the three and want to shoot a lot of them the next day. And of course, you have to find balance in your offense as well. Illinois State not probing the inside so far. 3 for 7 from deep, 0 for 6 from the interior.
Johnny Moran, the freshman from Algonquin, Illinois. He takes his first shot and brings it. Oh, Northern Iowa coming out red hot. Builds their lead to 9. 8 for 11 shooting for the Panthers.
They are a confident group, and they should be. Tied Creighton for the regular season championship. They're the #1 seed.
Alex Rubin, number 3 in the game for the first time. This is Rubin, a sophomore, the only sophomore in the entire roster for the Redbirds.
Dick, this is the time Illinois State should go inside. There are subs in. Eggleseder, the 7-footer, and Koch, 6'8", are on the bench, and they're not taking advantage of it.
Rodenberg blocked the first shot by Holloway. He misses, and we've got a clock violation. 35 seconds expires. Turnover to Northern Iowa. The Panthers claw their way to a quick 9-point lead. Coverage of the State Farm Missouri Valley Conference Championship, sponsored by your local authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer. Viagra. And by State Farm, proud partner of the NCAA basketball tournament. Call, click, or visit and start saving today. And welcome back to St. Louis with Bob Wenzel, Dick Enberg. Ben Jacobson, 38 years young in his 3rd year, 18 wins, and now this year 22 for Jacobson. He's a hot property. This man, a great future as a head coach at Division I level.
He stresses balance, Dick, in his offense, and we're seeing that in this game. Not only inside and outside balance, but balance in the number of shots taken by different players.
This is Travis Brown, the only senior on the team for Northern Iowa, number 21. Now to the freshman Moran. Lucas O'Rear. And this is Brown. And over the back goes Lucas O'Rear.
And while Northern Iowa has a lead, Ben Jacobson's doing a wise thing. There are 4 subs in the game right now, only 1 starter. The main players are on the bench right now, and I think part of that, Dick, is 3 games in 3 days. You know, the value of having players with fresh legs. Very important how you substitute.
And Tim Jankovic on the Illinois State bench. He told us a story about last year's final. We'll share with you. Nice interior passing, and the basket to Brandon Sampay, the senior.
Well, that's where they have to go. The 7-footer. Eggleseder is on the bench, and so is Adam Cook. This is an opportunity for Illinois State to get it into the paint. Those 2 are their biggest players.
Adam Rodenberg, the foul for Northern Iowa, and a chance for a 3-point play for Sampay. And welcome to St. Louis, you fans that have been watching the first game of our CBS Big Sunday. Michigan State and Purdue. This is Dick Enberg, Bob Wenzel at the Scott Trade Center. We're in downtown St. Louis, Missouri. They call it Arch Madness. Northern Iowa in white against the red jerseyed Illinois State Redbirds. The championship game of the State Farm Missouri Valley Conference Tournament. And it's Illinois State with the ball, trailing 18-12, midpoint of this opening half.
Star of the game so far, Kajo Aheligba, the point guard of Northern Iowa, has been on fire.
Turnover by Illinois State, and Rodenberg picks up the loose ball. Moran, the freshman, brings it down. Aheligba, currently being rested, is on the bench as Coach Ben Jacobson goes to a reserve lineup. Only 1 starter on the floor, and Sampay with the steal for Illinois State, and Holloway brings it forward.
Northern Iowa has strength in the paint. 7'1" Eggleseder and 6'8" Adam Cook.
Foul on the play before the shot, and here's a look at the lineups. The State Farm on the court lineup: Rubin, Holloway, Eldridge, Odiakosa, and Sampe. For Illinois State: Brown, Moran, Dunham, O'Rear, and Rodenberg. They're all reserves except for Moran, the freshman.
And the 4 starters coming in as you speak, Dick. When you get a lead early, especially when Cajo did his job, number 11, the power point guard, he got them off to a great start.
Odiakosa and Sampe on the floor. That's rare that both big men in the lineup at the same time for Illinois State.
Yeah, he's got to combat Cook and Eggleseder. Has to go big.
Sampe outside to Phillips. Rubin. Good defense by Northern Iowa. Ben Jacobs had said, if you're going to call me anything, call me a defensive coach. That's how I preach it. Unable to connect inside was Phillips. This is the man of the day so far, Cajo Aheligba. He handles the ball, runs the show, great free throw shooter. Made 9 for 9 yesterday in the big win against Creighton.
Right now, Tim Jankovic has his 2 lead scorers on the bench as Eggleseder, the 7'1", 290-pound player.
His 4th point, and it's an 8-point Northern Iowa lead with 8 minutes to go in the opening half.
Oguchi and Osiris Eldridge, the 2 best players for Illinois State, are on the bench because they shot too many threes early in the game.
Odiakosa inside, it rattles out. And who else but Aheligba to pick up the loose ball. And out of control on that play, but the foul goes against Illinois State's Emmanuel Holloway. And with that, a timeout. 7:42 to go in the opening half. It's Northern Iowa leading Illinois State 20-12. The Valley Conference Tournament Championship. At 50% in their first 2 wins of the tournament, 64% thus far, to only 22% for Illinois State, and the big scores coming on the 3-ball.
Well, when you're in love with the 3-point shot, it sometimes loves you, sometimes not. Early in the game, Aheligba makes 2 from deep. He's the only guy from Northern Iowa making those, and Emmanuel Holloway makes 2 early also. Holloway from deep on that one. Illinois State was 13 of 19 for Tim Jankovic last night in their blowout of Creighton. And of course, in this game, they fell in love early with those shots. They need to get some better balance. And the star of the game is that man right there, Cajo Aheligba, a power point guard if I've ever seen one.
Last season on the sidelines with shoulder surgery, both shoulders, did not play. Here's Aheligba. He's 6'2", just a sophomore. The only senior on the entire roster on the floor now, Travis Brown, number 21.
Teams have played twice. Northern Iowa won both.
No
Very
whistle.
close games.
This is Brown. Eggleseder, the 7-footer. Takes it up. He's so strong, that big wide body. How do you get to him?
He's got great patience. 6 points, all interior for Eggleseder so far in the game. You got to do your work beforehand. Front him, try to get him outside of the paint.
Biggest lead for Northern Iowa at 10. Around the perimeter, finally inside, Odiakosa.
They don't make you turn it over. They stay between you and the basket. They make you miss.
Phillips from outside. And the big man, Aheligba, big at 6'2", and he has 4 rebounds already. And he did nice block by Sampe as the big man, Eggleseder, went up. Holtz at the other end, and reserve Brandon Holtz from Bloomington, Illinois, the home of the Redbirds, has his first points.
Tim Jankovic gives his guys the green light on 3-point shooting. It has gotten them to the final 2 years in a row.
Aheligba maneuvering inside. Rebound goes To Sampay. He's giving some good minutes. Odiokosa beats the defense down court, and then the turnover. Now let's check the brackets and how these two teams arrived at this championship final for Northern Iowa. The top seeds coming in at 14-4, defeating Indiana State and then Bradley. And on the bottom half of the bracket, it was third seed Illinois State, first win over Evansville, and then a monster victory over favorite Creighton yesterday.
73-49. They held Creighton to 27% from the field. That was a blowout.
Creighton shared the regular season title with this team, Northern Iowa, at 14-4.
And they are in the unenviable position of waiting until next Sunday to find out if they will get an at-large bid, the Blue Jays.
Moran, the freshman, is off the mark. A whistle underneath the basket, and Sampay called for a push on Lucas O'Rear. So Sampay has his second. Tim Jankovic, 48, second year at Illinois State, and trying to repeat his 25-win season of a year ago. The Redbirds win today. That's 25 and 15 wins in 2 years.
That's strong, isn't it? They went to the NIT and they beat Utah State and lost to Dayton last year. A little disappointed they didn't get that call from the NCAA Tournament Selection Committee.
Ticking down toward the 5-minute mark here in St. Louis, with Northern Iowa with the ball and the lead by 7. Adam Cook. And outside, and
I'll tell you what, he is fired up, isn't he? Joe wants to win this one badly. As you mentioned, did not play last year, so his energy level is through the roof.
13 points for Helleckbach. Rebound O'Rear. Illinois State 15, the man with the ball 13.
Notice how he keeps his head up too. You know, very rarely lose sights of the rest of his team in the break and in the half court as well. Very sound player.
Adam Cook, an academic star as well as a top performer on the hardwoods. He hits the banker, his first basket. And the biggest lead of the game for Northern Iowa, and their fans are on the feet. Out of bounds to Illinois State. Kajoa Helleckbach running the show here for the Missouri Valley Tournament Championship.
And on the interior, Adam Cook, all Missouri Valley, doing it off the board.
5 field goals, and Illinois State has 5, Bob Wenzel.
He only averages nearly 12. He's passed that already in the first half. And Kajoa Helleckbach hits a 2 on the pull-up, uses his power, which is his signature move, into the paint, and then as a recipient, knocks it in. He's got 5 baskets. Illinois State has 5 baskets.
He rues the fact that they play so few games on Monday, Helleckbach. Here we are on Sunday because Nigerian parents named him Kajoa Helleckbach, and Kajoa means born on Monday. He would really be something tomorrow.
He looks pretty good to me on Sunday, I'll tell you that.
12-point lead. Eldridge looks for his first hoop.
Look at that block out, huh? Blocks out a 6'9" guy. Watch as he keeps his head up here, too. What they have to be careful of, and I mean the Panthers, is relying totally on Helleckbach. They need to get the ball inside to Cook some right here. He is their second leading scorer, and he can really play when he's in the paint.
From the corner, it's Dunham. He misses, and Cyrus Eldridge, the junior from Chicago. Oguchi is back on the court.
Illinois State, in their mind, has to be careful of the negative flashback. Last year, they lost by 30 in this championship game, and I'm sure they're thinking about that a little bit when they get behind so quickly. That coach's job is to prevent that from happening.
Dean Odiokosa with a score for Illinois State, his first basket. And it's a 10-point advantage for Northern Iowa.
First possession of zone right here for Tim Jankovic.
just so calm, and he's only a sophomore. He's playing like a senior.
Yeah, I think he was so highly motivated for this game.
Down to 3 on the shot clock. Moran, the freshman, will fire from long range. Odiakosa pulls it down.
Illinois State doing a better job in the last couple of minutes from getting some inside shots and not just jacking from three-point range.
Eldridge from 3. And Eldridge and Oguchi are now 1 for 8 on the 3 ball.
It is hard. That guy in your screen, all Missouri Valley Conference. Last year got the second most votes for the player of the year. This year also great respect in the Valley for Osiris Eldridge.
Second to Shai Eli, the senior from Evansville, for most valuable player. Larry Bird, player of the year here in the Valley. Oguchi off balance and a foul. Coming up on AT&T at the half, you can join Greg Gumbel, Greg Anthony, and Seth Davis. They'll have all the scores and highlights, and Jim Nance and Clark Kellogg give you a preview of that Duke, North Carolina game that'll follow our contest here in St. Louis, all on CBS. Plus an AT&T Naismith watch update, all coming up on AT&T at the half.
Notice Oguchi putting the ball on the floor a little bit more than he did earlier in the game. He understands that they've got to slow the game down, get to the free throw line, and make some shots.
Mass substitutions, especially by Northern Iowa. The foul was on Heligba, his first, to get Oguchi at the line.
I talked to Champ before the game. I've known him for a few years. And I said, how you feeling? He said, it's a great day to be a Redbird.
He now has 5 points, 27-19, Northern Iowa's lead.
The zone has been effective the last couple of possessions. Of course, Northern Iowa to use a lot of clock, and they have not gotten a good shot.
So much attention on Egelseiter, the big man inside defensively, and that allows Heligba with the ball to kind of have his own way.
Agreed. Right here, they should get a little high-low action with Cook and Egelseiter.
Heligba doesn't get the roll. Rebound Oguchi. Phillips brings it down. He likes to take the 3 off the fast break and just off the lip of the rim. And timeout has been called by Northern Iowa's Ben Jacobson. Final minute, opening half, Northern Iowa by 8. Sunday is coming, and you can run your bracket competition online for free with Bracket Manager. You invite your friends, fill out the brackets, and Bracket Manager does all the rest. Sign up now at cbssports.com/brackets.
Can't wait for that day.
Oh, there's some teams celebrating already, Coach. East Tennessee State, Radford, Morehead State, and Cornell have earned their right to the NCAA tournament, and the winner here today will join them.
And the Ivy League, the only conference in the country that does not crown its championship with a tournament. The regular season champ goes. Congratulations to Cornell.
They return. They had a terrific year a season ago and repeat into the big dance. Whistle away from the ball and a holding call.
Last year, Drake was the champion of the Missouri Valley Conference. They had that great Adam Emenecker who went from walk-on to MVP, and they lost to Western Kentucky in an overtime thrilling game down in Tampa.
Lloyd Phillips picked up his second foul, so Rubin comes in for him. 40 seconds on the shot, on the game clock. New clock after the foul. Farouk Manesh, JC transfer from Kirkwood Community College with the ball. Cook, they like to start him outside and then bring him underneath. That's the senior, Travis Brown. And with 18 seconds to go in this half, Illinois State comes down trailing by 8. This would be a big basket emotionally for the Redbirds, who have trailed throughout this opening half. Timeout called by Jankovic on the Redbird bench.
Bubble, Penn State, and of course Providence Friars. They got to do something in the Big East tournament to get their ticket.
College Station, they celebrated yesterday with their win as if they're going to go to the big dance. Texas A&M.
I'd love to see Miami in because Jack McClinton is one of the best three-point shooters in the land. He'd be a great story. like Stephen Curry was last year during March Madness.
Down to 5.3 seconds, and the foul on Johnny Moran, his first, but not yet in the bonus. Illinois State, that was the 6th of Northern Iowa foul. So they spent that to kill some time. Now Holloway has to hurry with 1 second to go, and that's the end of the half. Led by Kajo Aheligba, 13 points. Holloway had 6 for Illinois State. Northern Iowa with a lead, 27-19. We'll go to Greg Gumbel in New York. AT&T in the half coming up. American Revolution. American Revolution. Buffalo Wild Wings. You have to be here. And by AT&T. Your world delivered. Here in St. Louis, #1 seed, Northern Iowa leading 27-19 as we go to the second half. Let's take a look at the State Farm first half statistics. 15 times this year, Northern Iowa's held their opponents to 40% or less, 23%. Bob Wenzel in the first half today.
They've been really sticky, especially challenging shots from the outside, and that's what has Illinois State in the hole that they're in right now.
That's key for the Redbirds. They've got to hit the three-point shot.
And they didn't do it in the first half. The 2 star players on this team, Osiris Eldridge, 0 for 4 from the field, and Champ Oguchi, 1 for 5. They are 1 for 7 from downtown. That is not going to get it done in a championship game. Look at the bottom, the 3rd game this season with 0 points in the first half for Osiris Eldridge, who is one of the top 5 players in this league. Another thing to keep in mind here, Dick, Illinois State, their worst first half of the year was 17 points against Southern Illinois. They won that game in overtime.
Today's game being brought to you in HD TV by Harris Corporation, the world leader in broadcast systems for high-definition television and mobile media, and a turnover immediately by the reliable Kajo Aheligba, and the Illinois State fans have a chance to try to rouse their team. Eldridge, incredibly, 3 games against Northern Iowa this year, all close, and here's their #2 scorer, Osiris Eldridge, wearing 0 on his back. He did not score a point the first half today and didn't score a point in the other 2 games in the first half either. And they need him to get a hot hand.
Well, he has taken the defensive assignment right here. He is on Aheligba, forced him into a turnover. Watch off the ball. Eldridge on Aheligba is going to be a very intense matchup in the second half. If you're not shooting well, D up at the other end.
Big guy, Egil Cedar, he can't get inside. Moran outside. Phillips for Illinois State. Redbirds, and this is Eldridge, man who has scored consistently throughout his career. Do we get one now? No. Well off the mark, but the rebound put back not there for Odia Sutra, and Phillips is short on the 3. They just can't find the range from outside the arc. A steal. Phillips. Is this the time for Eldridge? He takes it inside, and a very tough shot there. He's forcing it.
Well, if you can't get it done with offense, then you've got to get more aggressive at the other end of the floor. That's what Jankovic has his team doing early here.
Egil Cedar, nice soft touch for the big guy for Northern Iowa. They're back to a 10-point advantage.
Big smile by the big man. He's got a nice touch from 16 feet and in. Only plays 19 minutes a game, gets tired out quickly because of the size of his body.
Nice pass inside and a foul on Egil Cedar as Odia Kosa went up for a slam.
Well, when you are 7'1" and 290 and you got a soft touch, as Egil Cedar does right here, notice the turnaround jumper. He goes into the paint, then back out. Nice little fadeaway. The follow through, that's a thing of beauty.
He's got an average on the year of 10, 8 thus far today.
He tires out quickly, Dick, in fast-paced games, and as a result, only plays 19 minutes a game. And when he comes out, that hurts them offensively. However, his substitute, Lucas O'Rear, is a very physical player, and that's why they don't lose much at the defensive end when he sits.
You heard the big cheer for Odia Kosa when he hit the free throw. He's averaging only 44% this year, and he gets 2. A kind bounce on that one.
They were yo-yoing him in an earlier game in this tournament, taking him out at the offensive end when they were nursing a lead late.
Another turnover, and finally, Osiris Eldridge with authority fires it home.
Nice response to start the second half by the Redbirds. D up.
And Eldridge, almost a steal there, but a timeout had been called by Northern Iowa. And listen to these Illinois State fans. Hope has arrived early in the second half for the Redbirds.
And hope in the form of defense. And Osiris to the rescue.
March Madness on Demand is back with a new high-quality video player option. Every game from the first round through the championship available live online for free. Find out more at ncaa.com. Illinois State, a couple of quick baskets here in the second half, have cut what was once a 12-point Northern Iowa lead down to 6.
And they're doing with pressure defense.
A Heligbaum can't connect. Odiakosa rebounds. There's a little fire in the Redbird tank here early in the second half.
No doubt about that. The talk at halftime, I would not have liked to have been in there. I see some singed ears out here.
Oh, Gucci takes it inside, and it's 29-25. 7 points for Oguchi.
When in doubt, get aggressive.
6 unanswered points for Illinois State to start the half, and another steal. Phillips comes up with it. Odiakosa, and he misses the dunk. Gets it back. No foul. Eldridge for 3. Oh my, what a start for Illinois State.
He's back.
29-28.
You don't make All Valley first team 2 years in a row and go 0 for a game. A dunk and a 3, and great D by Osiris Eldridge.
An 11-2 run. A Heligbaum. He's done that all tournament. When they need one, they take it to this sophomore. He has 15 points.
Northern Iowa is making a mistake by not getting the ball to Adam Cook in the half-court offense.
Yeah, what's happened to their leading scorer, the Panthers, Adam Cook?
Only 1 for 2 in the game.
Eldridge is feeling it now. He ties it up at 31. No, they call that a 2. 31-30. 7 for Eldridge, all here in the second half.
How about this duel, huh? Osiris Eldridge is a guy who likes a challenge, and he's got a big one in Keijo here. Quickness on the floor with Phillips and Holloway right over here as they exchange.
The gritty freshman Moran loses control. Phillips hawking him, and he gets a reach-in foul. Foul on Lloyd. Phillips is his 3rd timeout. 4 minutes, 15 seconds into the second half. And Osiris Eldridge, he was 0 in the first half. He's hot in the second. Couldn't stop Jack Gibbons.
And you announced that game, didn't you?
We did. That was the first national championship that the Enberg-Packer McGuire team had the privilege to call.
And they were a great group. Mike Jaminski, of course, announcing, and Jim Spinarkle, all at CBS right now. And that was
Gene Banks. That was a great team, wasn't it?
Yeah. And a book written about that team called Forever's Team. And I'll tell you what, right now Osiris Eldridge is showing that he's got the competitive spirit that Duke team had.
Northern Iowa once leading by 12 in the first half. That has been chipped away by Illinois State in the second half. It's a 1-point game. Adam Cook finally gets an attempt but can't hit. Loose ball, and Rubin picks it up for the Redbirds.
When you were down like they were and shooting threes, you get aggressive in the second half and be sloppy and aggressive, diving on the floor. That's what they need.
Hell ball is the call. The arrow to Illinois State. Oh, Gucci didn't take long to try to hang a 3 in there and give the Redbirds the lead. They've led only twice in the game. That was at the start, 3-0, and again at 6-4. Gucci, that's well off the mark over Adam Cook. Is it saved? No.
Cook is doing a very good job, even though he's not involved at the offensive end. Number 34 in white is guarding Oguchi and making Oguchi have a bad game. He's 6'8", he's long, he can play off Oguchi and yet challenge his shot at the same time. Very nice job by Cook.
Top Wisconsin high school player, Adam Cook, he's the leading scorer, 12 a game. This is Cook. He's only 1 for 3 in the game, however.
Yeah, but if his defense stays the way it is on Oguchi, that will be his contribution for a championship.
Odiakosa jumping out, and it's short this time from a held ball. Look at that O'Rear. What a hustler. Lucas O'Rear skidding on the court to try to cover that fumble. He looked like a tight end in football, didn't he?
I'll tell you what, looked more like a defensive line guy to me. Holy cow.
He is the heart and soul of the defense, as described by his coach, Ben Jacobson.
A lot of action on this one right here, Dick. And of course, the quick hands versus the strength right here. Holloway.
Remarkable effort by Holloway. Almost blindly, he found the ball with one hand to tie him up.
The more pressure the Redbirds can put on, the better it is going to be for them.
Baroque Manesh not able to hit, and O'Rear gets an offensive rebound, and he is fouled.
He got away with a push on that one, Dick. Ball was in the air. Red bodies got under the rim, and that's why he was in the right position. Watch him right here. He clears space, knocks 2 guys underneath the basket. That should have been a call. Holloway and Odiakosa both went down. He looked like a pulling guard on that one.
Emmanuel Holloway picked up the foul for Illinois State. A reminder, near the end of today's game, we'll select the Chevrolet players of the game in recognition of their excellence. Chevrolet will make a contribution to each university's general scholarship fund, supporting new technologies and innovations. Learn more at Chevy.com. O'Rear makes it 33-30.
He's the type of player that can score no points and have an impact on the game.
Each team has a big number 6 man that delivers. Sampay for Illinois State, and of course O'Rear from Nashville, Illinois. The Panthers star off the bench. That's Holloway. And another miss from three-point range, and it comes right back to Emmanuel Holloway, and he scores. That's his first points inside the line, 8 in the game to lead Illinois State.
Holloway had 10 points, 6 rebounds in their win over Creighton. I think whatever Tim Jankovic said at halftime, it's working, huh? He ought to bottle that and save it for the NCAAs if he can.
Yeah, a lot of spirit in the play of Illinois State. They're on their toes the second half. They were not. Ball knocked in the backcourt, but no violation. Baroque Manesh with the ball. Junior college transfer, and he nails his first points of the game.
Didn't play a lot yesterday because of early foul trouble. He's the best marksman on this team.
Injury at midcourt, and foul goes against Illinois State. And it might be on Holloway, and Holloway's already in trouble. That would be his third. It is. He gets immediately to the bench.
You know, in the Missouri Valley Conference Championship, as you take a look at Emmanuel Holloway, who is a senior this year, junior college transfer player, you play 3 games in 3 days to get to the championship game, and you've got to battle hard to get there. Sometimes fatigue will take a toll late in this game, something to keep an eye on as we dwindle down.
In that backcourt now, Illinois State has traveled fouls. Both Phillips and Holloway with 3 each, and there's a reach-in on Oguchi. That's not a smart foul.
He didn't need it. He was in position.
14th foul on Illinois State, first on Oguchi. Tim Jankovic, he's a big tennis fan. He says, we want to go to Wimbledon this year.
He was hitting you up for tickets, wasn't he?
I'd be glad to host it.
I'll tell you what, he was a very good player at Kansas State. Played in 9 NCAA tournament games himself. He knows what this is all about.
Without any coaching, he made the Kansas State tennis team as a senior. Look at O'Rear. Nice pass, and then a steal. Here comes Eldridge. He wants to go coast to coast, and a foul on Dunham.
I have been very impressed with this young man's response to having a bad offensive first half. He has gotten after it from the very beginning of the second half defensively. He just yanks this ball out of Brown's hands, and then of course gets whacked right here. Pretty solid free throw shooter, over 70.
closing in on 1,300 points in his Illinois State career, and the junior is Osiris Eldridge. He's a good free throw shooter, 72%, and leads the team in steals as well, and you can see his effect at both ends of the court.
He is explosive, and usually explosive offensively, but he's using that explosion at the defensive end in this particular half.
Looking for his 8th point all here in this half. No. Sampé tries to save and cannot. No, they're going to give that to Illinois State as the early signal. It must have gone off one of the Northern Iowa. No, it is to Northern Iowa, the proper goal. The officials pointing in Illinois State's direction. One
of the problems right here now with Holloway on the bench, they don't have as much defensive pressure that he can exude.
With the pressure on these young men, the winner knows it's automatic into the big dance. Chance to play in the NCAA championship. And for the loser, even though a great season, will they get an at-large bid? Long shot. Senior Brown misses. Odiakosa moves very well for a big man. Quick feet.
Dick, the team from this conference that has the best opportunity for an at-large bid is not playing in this game. Creighton, 26 wins on the year. They are firmly on the bubble.
Did not play well, barely beat Wichita State, and then yesterday was devoured by this Illinois State club on their reigning threes. Timeout. Northern Iowa by 3. Back at the 33rd Valley Tournament, and here's a look at the numbers. 5 for 20. This Illinois State team fires up the trays. In fact, they've scored more threes than any time in their basketball history of some 100+ years. Turnovers a key here in the second half. That's a credit to the defense of the Redbirds.
There were 2 turnovers at a halftime, and now there are 7. This aggressive nature by Illinois State in the second half is what's got them right back in the game, and it's been shared responsibility. Holloway has done a good job. Phillips has done a good job. Osiris Eldridge has done a good job. And the halftime speech of that man, Mr. Tim Jankovic, has got his team fired up and right back where they need to be.
Benefiting from being an assistant under Eddie Sutton, Jack Hartman, Lon Kruger, Boyd Grant, Gene Iba, Bob Weltley, Kevin Stallings, and Bill Self. He is so high on Self. He said he should be coach of the year. He wins a national title, loses all his starters, and wins another Big 8 championship. Self.
He's done a remarkable job, of course. The champions of the Big 12 Conference again. And, of course, the other thing defensively that they have done, the Redbirds in the second half, at halftime, Heligba had 13 points. He's got 15 right now, so they've really concentrated on stopping him in the second half as well.
Bump and shove there. Sampé and the big man for Northern Iowa, Eggleseder. Looks as if they've called a double foul. So Eggleseder gets one, and so does the 6'8" senior Brandon Sampé. It's the 3rd on Sampé. He becomes the 3rd Illinois State player with 3 fouls. And they're going to give the foul to Adam Cook and not Eggleseder. His second, Cook's second. See Odzik in the game. This is Odzik. He transferred from Southern California, and a good pass to Sampé.
Oh, man.
Soft off the iron.
Nice pass by Odzik on that particular play as well.
5 points for Sampé off the bench to pull the Redbirds within 1.
Oguchi on the bench right now because he's been cold, and when you are cold and you continue to shoot threes, sort of drags your team down. Lots of high energy right here, but the fact that Holloway is out with 3 fouls right now, Shipley can't pressure quite as well as him.
And they get it to Cook. That was a good backdoor, and he was fouled.
At the other end, Illinois State, a beautiful play right here. Sampé, 41, is going to get the shot, but look at that clever pass right there by Odzik. That is a nice, nice play. Sampé is an excellent backup power player, averages 20 minutes a game. Very productive, calming effect on the team.
Odiakosa committed his first foul, and Adam Cook has his 3rd point of the game. That's most unusual for this highly talented junior, averaging over 12 a game. He shoots 50% from the floor. He's a leader on the floor and in the classroom as an honors student, academic all-district.
Had 25 on February 21st when these two teams last played a double overtime game. Had 22 yesterday. He's an outstanding scorer, and they've defended him well.
Northern Iowa back up by 3. Odzik again, the give and go, that time to Odiokosa, but he was walled off by Cook.
He likes to go off the dribble and capable.
Way outside. Oh, my! Raindrop. 30-footer for Eldridge to tie it at 37.
Dick, that should count for 4 points instead of 3. It was so deep.
What a difference in Osiris Eldridge. No points first half, 10 points already here in the second half. That was his first 3.
We talked to him yesterday, and he said that he does not want a repeat of the blowout loss last year. He's going to do everything he can to prevent that from happening.
And answering is Farouk Manesh for Northern Iowa. His first 3. He has 5 in the game.
Things heating up right now. Desire coming to the front.
Such a high-stakes game. Champions go to the NCAA tournament. Oh, he's trying to back it off the Iowa player, Northern Iowa player, Phillips, and it went right through his legs into his teammate. Phillips way outside again. And Eggleseder clears. Six for 22 3-point attempts for Illinois State. They live and die by the tray. Heligba a little out of control. This is Dunham. Eggleseder, the southpaw. Odiokosa. Another rebound for him. 9th rebound for Odiokosa, who leads the team averaging over 7 a game.
If I was Tim Jankovic, I would try to get Holloway back in the game. Odzik has been good at the offensive end, but can't pressure as well.
Oh, he didn't even look. He just took the ball, turned and shot it, then he looked. 40 all. What a second half. 13 points for Osiris Eldridge. He's putting the O, and wow. Eggleseder blocks, and that again was Eldridge.
Does this kid want to play in the NCAA tournament or what? Oh my goodness.
He wants the ball. You better get on tight on him. And here he comes, steps back on the line. Oh my, Osiris. What a demonstration. Even Jankovic, the coach, is standing and smiling. Look at him. Come home to me. Look at the bench of the Redbirds, led by this junior Eldridge. Osiris Eldridge, 16 points in the second half. You think this one will go in? And they now lead by 3.
From somewhere in St. Louis, I don't know where, the length of that one was unreal. And of course, off the catch, nothing but bottom on that side, and then putting the ball on the floor. He's coming into your living room, folks. This is a very tough fadeaway J. Wow.
3 in a row from Osiris Eldridge to shoot Illinois State into the lead, 43-40, with 7.5 minutes left here in this championship game of the State Farm Missouri Valley Conference Tournament. Adam Cook. It's the first time that Northern Iowa has trailed by 3 since the very first shot of the game, made by Emmanuel Holloway. A 3 for Illinois State. Heligba has cooled off just as Eldridge has turned on the burners. The Redbirds by 3. Sports coverage of the State Farm Missouri Valley Conference Championship is sponsored by State Farm, proud partner of the NCAA basketball tournament. Call, click, or visit and start saving today. Bud Light, with just the right taste that never fills you up. The difference is drinkability. And by the 2009 Cadillac CTS. Osiris Eldridge leading Illinois State to the lead, 43-40. 2 times All Missouri Valley Conference performer. Next Sunday, the debate is over. Find out who's in, who's out, who's playing whom, when, and where. You'll get it first, and you'll get it fast on the NCAA Basketball Championship Selection Show. And here are the teams that are already putting on the dancing shoes. Cornell, East Tennessee State, Morehead State, Radford. Congratulations to you all. And we do know one thing. The winner here in St. Louis today will join those 4.
And they will add some excitement if Osiris Eldridge is playing at one of those 8 venues. First half, 0 for 4, no points. Second half, 6 for 8, 16 points for Osiris, as well as great defense.
Adam Cook at the line for Northern Iowa brings the Panthers to within 2. He has 5 points and 5 rebounds today. He's the leading scorer with that 12.5 average. C has an excellent touch.
He's been all over the map against Illinois State in the 3 games. 25 in one game, 2 in another game, and now the performance here today.
Manuel Holloway, and again it's Eldridge, and he doesn't hit that one from deep in the corner. A Helligsbaugh racing, trying to find an opening in the paint, could not get inside.
Only 2 points for Helligsbaugh in the second half.
Cook has it knocked away by Sampe, and then it's Cooks from inside the line, tried to tie it. And up there, ripping down the rebound is Osiris Eldridge.
How about that one? Whoa. They need to get some balance, though, Dick. You know, I mean, a outstanding performance like that can't go on for the entire game unless you're Michael Jordan. So right here, they've got to get some other players involved at this end.
Champ Oguchi, the leading scorer through this sequence, has been on the bench for Illinois State.
Yeah, because he wasn't shooting well from 3-point range. A little Sampe inside might be advisable. Rubin can make shots from the perimeter if Osiris uses the dribble to get to the paint.
That last foul, Bob Wenzel, on Adam Cook. That's his 3rd.
Holloway's not shy either, number 1 on the right wing.
Odiokosa trying to get over O'Rear and cannot.
Good shot, though.
1 point lead, Illinois State. Northern Iowa with the ball. And a foul along the baseline. The freshman ran. His coach, Ben Jacobson, said, you know, the thing about this guy from Algonquin, Illinois, he's gritty, tough. He compared him to a young Scott Skiles, of which so many coaches of whom have such great admiration.
Yes, because of his toughness, the former Michigan State star. This guy's got quick feet, too. He can move around at both ends of the floor. Gets where he wants to go with the bounce. Ben Jacobson likes him a lot. Ben Jacobson very proud of the balance on his team.
And here Moran, looking for his 4th point of the game, can give Northern Iowa the lead. And he does. With 5:50 to go. And the Illinois State faithful join those from Northern Iowa. Not many seated now here at the Scott Trade Center in downtown St. Louis, Missouri.
Oguchi ready to come in. They need another scorer.
And they put the freshman Moran now on this switch on Osiris, and now it's Cook back on him. 6 on the shot clock. 3. Eldridge overcooked. Oh! You can't defend it any better than that.
Are you kidding me? A 6'8" player with long reach. He's in the zone, Dick. He is in the zone. 19 points in the second half.
And he's averaging 14 on the season for a full game. There's a foul on Northern Iowa, an illegal pick.
Well, there was another Big O that played in this conference years ago, Oscar Robertson. But in the second half, an imitation. He is almost out of bounds, sitting in your lap, Dick. Very close to it. Nothing but the bottom of the net. That is a high arching shot.
and he had to get it up high just to get it over the reach of Cook, who was right in his face. The foul was on Travis Brown for Northern Iowa. Offensive foul, so here's Illinois State heading into the offensive end with a 2-point lead, 46-44.
Remarkable performance.
O'Rear runs at Osiris, then he flips it to Holloway, and he misses the three.
I like the fact that Phillips is back in right now. He adds defense and quickness, and he's not afraid to shoot it.
And Travis Brown, the only senior on this Northern Iowa team, hits a clutch hoop and ties it at 46. He has three.
He made a clutch three yesterday to gain separation when they beat Bradley at this juncture of the game as well.
Clock ticking away toward the 4-minute mark here in the second half for the Valley Tournament title. Eldridge can't hit that runner. Or check that. That was Oguchi that makes the shot. They need him to score, but he's been cold throughout. Eldridge has scored all of the last 12 points for Illinois State. Under 4 to go. Tied at 46.
O'Rear is in instead of Eagle Cedar, who has not played against Illinois State well in the two previous meetings.
Cook is stripped. Holloway takes it away. Eldridge looking for some daylight. Well, it's out there, but he's short, and it comes right out to Sampe. Oguchi misses again from three.
He was praying on that one. He was steering it. That's not what you want to do. He's 2 for 10 in the game. Interesting coaching situations for Jankovic. Do you go with your guys who got you there, or do you go with your original starters?
Carolina and Duke, that great rivalry in the ACC. Stay with us. A big Sunday tripleheader here on CBS, and we're headed toward the Pac-10 final tournament next Saturday. Bob Wenzel, and then the selection show on Sunday.
It's going to be awesome as usual, and I'm sure there'll be some gnashing of teeth as to who gets in the at-large bids.
46 all here with just over 3 minutes left in St. Louis with a tournament spot on the line. Adam Cook against Odiakosa, and he draws the foul.
That's where he needs to go. They need to go to the interior to maintain a lead.
He'll be on the line when we return to St. Louis. Understandably, the action's so intense, dramatic here, is so much on the line. A spot in the NCAA tournament to the winner of this State Farm Missouri Valley Conference Championship of this tournament. And there's the foul and timeout situation. Illinois State has the hand in terms of timeouts to use, but the next foul by the Redbirds sends Northern Iowa into the double bonus. And Bob Wenzel at the line is Adam Cook in the double overtime game at the end of the season at Illinois State, won by Northern Iowa. It was Cook right at the buzzer who won it, and here he is with a chance to give the Panthers the lead with 3 minutes to go.
And when you say he won it, he had a tip in at that juncture of the game, right at the buzzer.
He's a son of a dentist. He's an honor student in biology. He's going forward, pre-med, pre-dent. But he's got another year of basketball left, too. He's only a junior.
Well, the last 3 minutes of this is going to be like a root canal, I can tell you that.
Oh, my. Misses both. One of the top free throw shooters, 78%.
Obviously, Eldridge is the man. But Holloway not afraid to shoot the ball, or Phillips, even though Phillips has not made a shot. He doesn't realize it probably. He thinks he's very, very good. Right, lot of confidence by number 12 with the ball.
Down to 2:38 left. Inside it goes to Sampe, the bulky senior, and they're going to call traveling. No basket.
Well, Odiakosa has 4 fouls. Sampe has 3. But at the end of the game, Tim Jankovic can use one or the other. He does not have to have both in the game, and right now, only Sampe in.
Joe Helligba, number 11, is the man who got Northern Iowa into a 12-point lead in the first half. Here's the senior, Travis Brown, and a battle for the rebound. It goes off home. off O'Rear, touched it last, Northern Iowa.
The big men for Northern Iowa have not been able to take advantage of their size in this game, Dick. And a lot of that has to do with the hustle on the boards of the guys in the red.
And with the score tied, 2:07 to go, Tim Jankovic calls time. And welcome back to St. Louis. The course of this game found Northern Iowa building its lead. 12 points at one juncture in the first half, 27-19 for the Panthers at the half. And then the Osiris Eldridge show opened the curtain. Now, Eldridge, a wonderful score. It was 0 for the first half, has scored 19 of the 27 second half points for the Redbirds, and we're tied at 46 with 2:07 to go.
Well, the reset right there. You can see the possession arrow in favor of Illinois State. Illinois State had 17 points at halftime against Southern Illinois earlier in the year. They won that game in overtime.
19 points today.
Yeah. Right.
Osiris Eldridge, he's always looking to go, and you got to respect his driving ability. And there's a foul, and it's on Eldridge for the charge, trying to do a bit too much. His second foul. Player control, 1:52 to go. Northern Iowa chance now to take the lead.
Well, at this time of the game, Cook is the guy that I would try to get the ball to if I'm Northern Iowa. The man with the basketball, Heligba, had a great first half. He's been kind of invisible in the second half. You can count on him using the bounce to get to the paint.
And Eldridge is defending him. So Eldridge not only has scored 19 in the second half, he's put the clamps on Heligba. He does get this one away, but long, and up high is Sampe for the rebound. Now it's the Redbirds' turn for the lead, and both teams unable to put it down. We've been tied at 46 for the last couple of minutes. North Carolina and Duke to follow. Always great action. Will Ty Lawson play? He was key to Carolina's big win in that second half at Cameron. Game time decision whether Lawson, the speedy guard for the Heels, will be able to play. Inside to Sampe. He's triple team, but gets it to Holloway for three. Oguchi up high for the rebound, and a foul called on whom? Northern Iowa.
Well, because of the triple team, Oguchi was left on his own on the weak side. He crashed the boards nicely. Good position, got whacked twice. So he'll get his opportunity at the free throw line. You mentioned Ty Lawson. He shredded Duke at Cameron Indoor Stadium in the second half when the Tar Heels needed it badly. They could not contain him.
Second foul on O'Rear, and Oguchi has his 8th point of the game. He has not shot well from outside. He's 2 for 10, but a critical free throw that gives the Redbirds the lead by 1. And we're now, word from Chapel Hill is that Lawson will start the game for North Carolina.
What a shot.
Illinois State gets 2 free throws from the senior Oguchi, and it's 48-46.
Unless you're in the hospital, you want to play in the Duke North Carolina game.
Final minute of play. The winner books a spot in the NCAA tournament. Automatic bid. Will it be Illinois State leading by 2, or will Northern Iowa win this cliffhanger in St. Louis? Knocked away inside, and it goes off Sampe, who nearly stole the ball.
The right place to go is to Adam Cook for Northern Iowa.
They called a foul on Sampe going for that steal, and so Sampe sends Lucas O'Rear to the line.
71% on the year.
48-47. Today's Chevrolet players of the game are Osiris Eldridge and Kajo Heligba. For Illinois State and Northern Iowa, Chevrolet makes a contribution to each university's general scholarship fund to support new technologies and innovations. Learn more at Chevy.com.
That was clutch. That is a 6th man making those 2 free throws in that situation. That's big time.
Lucas O'Rear, the sophomore, ties it at 48. There's just a fraction of a second difference between the time and shot clocks. 4/10 of a second. 29 seconds remain in St. Louis, and we're tied. Exciting down on Tobacco Road, Duke and North Carolina. The rematch of a game won earlier by Carolina. Big second half for the Heels. That's coming up following our game here. We have only 29 seconds left. Tied Illinois State and Northern Iowa. Tim Jankovich giving the final instruction, setting up the play for the Redbirds. They have the ball.
Well, right now, Dick, the thing that you want to do if you're Illinois State, you have to make the decision. Do you want to take the last shot of the game or not? And normally the answer to that would be yes. So during the time that they're going to run 20, 25 seconds off the clock before they shoot, will Northern Iowa pressure or not? I think Northern Iowa will not, because that's not their game. They'll play between their man and the basket, and of course Osiris Eldridge should be the guy at the end who either takes the shot or makes the play.
Holloway with the inbounds pass, or Phillips out there, and he gives to Holloway.
You can see they're not pressuring out here. They're playing between their man and the basket. They want to contain any kind of dribble penetration.
Down to 12.
Here he comes.
Oguchi with 10. Osiris Eldridge with 7. It's going to be Osiris Eldridge. He's got the senior Brown on him. Long bomb to win it, way off the mark. Holloway gets the rebound, and we go to overtime.
Not the kind of shot that you would want. Way, way, way too deep. Had the ability to go by the defender, didn't do it. Let's measure this one, Dick. This is a long, 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 long shot with 3 seconds to go.
But he's been making those the entire second half. 5-minute overtime coming up in St. Louis.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Carolina class of 2009 has been the foundation for the tremendous success Carolina basketball has
went to overtime, 2 of them before Northern Iowa prevailed. Illinois State is 2 and 3. This is the 6th time they've been in overtime this year. Northern Iowa, they lost to Iowa State in overtime, lost to Indiana State in overtime, but they did win at Illinois State in that late game of the regular season. So they're 1 and 2 in overtime action.
Well, the first half belonged to Heligba, and the second half belonged to Osiris Eldridge. What do you think the overtime's going to belong to?
Well, somebody we're not counting on.
There you go.
That's the beauty of college basketball. Going into the tournament, a chemistry major can come off the bench and win you a big one. Let's see here as the overtime begins. Holloway, Oguchi, Sampe, Eldridge, and Phillips on the court for Illinois State. Eldridge pulls up. That's the one he wanted at the end of regulation.
Yes. Don't jack from deep. Get to the paint if you can. Nice pull-up jumper right there. We said at the beginning, Dick, that this would be a game that these players would always remember. Now that it's in overtime, they're going to remember it even more, isn't it?
You got that. It's just so true to form, these two teams. Just so evenly matched all year. A three-pointer banked in by Perokmanesh. And that's 8 points for him, and Northern Iowa claims the lead at 51-50.
Ali was not even celebrating on that. He expected it to go in.
Oguchi answers a 3 for Illinois State.
Finally, 3 for 11 for Oguchi. Stepping up at the right time.
(53-51) Illinois State. Northern Iowa with 3.5 minutes left in overtime. Very patient. Kajo Heligba. O'Rear. Brown. 10 on the shot clock. Adam Cook knocked away. And Oguchi knocks it forward. And Holloway is taken down with a block. And that'll be a foul on Heligba, his second.
Well, the defense has been very good in the second half for the Redbirds. Holloway has been in the middle of a bunch of these kind of steals. Very fast hands and quick feet. Everybody gets hit on that one.
He was second on the regular season, Holloway, in steals with 40, second to Eldridge. They're going to clean up the floor as Emmanuel Holloway, the senior from Cartersville, Georgia, went to Iowa Western Community College. Toes the stripe. He averaged 10 on the season. He has 8 today. He's a 74% shooter from the line.
He had 10 last night in the Creighton victory along with 6 rebounds and his normal aggressive defense.
Looks like Osiris Eldridge suffering from some cramps on his left leg as they stretch him out. Holloway extends the lead to 3.
Interesting development. The star player getting attended to, huh?
Cooley, Holloway hits his 2. 4-point lead. Boy, the way they've been seesawing, that's a huge advantage for either team, and it's the Redbirds who enjoy the 4-point edge. 3 minutes to go. Biggest lead of the game for Illinois State. And another 3 from Ali Farokhmanesh. Has he delivered, the kid from Iowa City?
Well, I asked you a minute ago who was going to be the star of overtime. Ali has got his ballot in.
55-54, Illinois State with the lead in the ball under 3 to go. Oguchi takes it inside and scores.
With Eldridge on the bench, they're sharing the basketball more.
Oguchi now with 14. The 1-2 punch, Eldridge and Oguchi. Duke and North Carolina to follow. They have not started. We'll pick up that action as soon as we conclude overtime here in St. Louis. Timeout called by Northern Iowa. 2:24 to go. Illinois State by 3. Its first and only Missouri Valley State Tournament Championship in double overtime over Missouri State. The Panthers nose to nose with Missouri State and finally prevailed in the second overtime, 79-74. That was for the 2004 title. We're in a single overtime thus far, and we're in the midpoint of the 5-minute overtime period, and Illinois State leads by 3. And there's a situation. The Redbirds are in the 1-1. That's crucial, while Northern Iowa in the double bonus. Timeouts, Northern Iowa has only 1 to use.
And Osiris Eldridge is coming back into the game for Tim Jankovic's squad. What a game he has had. Limping a little bit. Looks like he had a little bit of a cramp in his foot. Trainer got that out. He's going to get a bonus if this works out.
21 points for Eldridge, all in the second half, and his teammate Oguchi chipping in with 14, and they're both on the court for the first time, I believe, since very early in this second half. It's Northern Iowa with the ball, down by 3.
You know, with Osiris Eldridge, the thing to admire about him, as badly as he played offensively in the first half, he took the defensive challenge first, and that led to the good offense for him.
About time they got the ball to Adam Cook. He has only 6 points, their leading scorer in the season.
They have no points in the paint in the second half. Zero.
Here's Cook. He's 1 for 4. Takes it inside. No foul. Brown blocked by Oguchi. This is a team now that has set a tournament record in blocks. They had 19 in the first 2 games of the tournament, Illinois State, and they had 2 in the first half, 4 in the game. So that's a new Missouri Valley tournament record. 23 blocks for a very short team. Timeout, 1:50 to go. Redbirds ball, leading by 3.
Illinois State up 3, and Champ Oguchi's long arms playing a big role. Clean block of a 3 by Brown leads to possession and the lead. Big time play by Oguchi.
Again, Illinois State now using the timeout there. 2 remaining. Northern Iowa 1. Redbirds still in the 1-1.
The drama is thick here, Mr. Enberg. Oh my goodness.
Stakes high, and these young guys are playing their hearts out to earn a spot in the 65-team tournament that'll be announced next Sunday here on CBS. Duke and Carolina to follow this overtime action for the Missouri Valley tournament title. Holloway, Oguchi.
Spread the floor, use the clock, penetrate the gaps at the end.
Oguchi sees daylight.
Yep.
No foul. 3 on the shot clock. Phillips. Rebound, Sampe. He could have gone right back up. There was no one there.
Yeah, but wise. It's a wise play, really, right? The clock is your ally now when you got the lead.
Got a 3-point lead, and now in this second possession on the trip, they'll take it under 1 minute to go. Sampé again, great point. Eldridge way off the mark, so as hot as he can be, can ice up. Less than a minute left in overtime. Here comes Cook. Normally goes to his right, goes to the left, and sets up Lucas O'Rear. O'Rear pulls Northern Iowa within one. 48 seconds, 47. Cyrus Eldridge brings it up. 17-second difference approximately in shot and game clocks. Oguchi and Cook moves out defensively on him, and he takes it up the alley and misses the layup, and Cook with a rebound, and with 23 seconds to go, here comes Northern Iowa down by one. A Heligma, and he is fouled.
Oh my goodness. The miss by Oguchi is the exact shot that they needed. They spread the floor, they drove to the basket, and they missed a shot that they normally would make. The drive is there, the mismatch is being used, a little bump, but nothing for a foul, and Oguchi holds his head on that one.
And at the other end, not only is there a foul that presents an opportunity for the lead for Northern Iowa, but that man, a critical player for Illinois State, Sampé, is fouled out. So 57-56 with 16.7 seconds remaining, and Northern Iowa will be at the line, a chance for the lead.
Well, Heligba is going to go to the stripe. He is one tough customer, played a great first half.
First free throw today, Bob. But yesterday, remember, he visited the line time and time again and was 9 for 9 to close out that victory against Creighton. And Cryer dribbles in. 57 all, and now for the lead with 16 plus seconds left. 11 in a row for a Heligma. First two today, 58-57. 11 seconds to go. Phillips throws it inside in a scramble. The arrow points to Northern Iowa.
The penetration was there. The overpass. Phillips can scoot, and right here he dishes off. The pass was low. A great play by Ali to get his hand on the ball, and everybody's on the floor for this one.
Northern Iowa with the ball in the lead. Precious seconds remain in St. Louis. 8 seconds left. Northern Iowa in command with the lead and the ball after that held ball, and one figures that Tim Jankovic is going to go through the roster and say, whom do we want to foul? But there's not a lot of time to hesitate, Bob.
Yeah, and you know what? You got to foul who you got to foul. I mean, it would be nice in an ideal world for you to be able to do that, but it doesn't work like that. Now, the thing here is, can they foul before the ball is inbounded so they have a lot more time at the other end? Or do they try to steal the inbounds pass, which is also a philosophy? Now, if they can deny 5-on-4 inbounds where you don't guard the inbound player, then you have a possible situation for a 5-second violation. So all those three things are possibilities.
Tim Jankovic's Redbirds had a 4-point lead here in the overtime, but now it's Northern Iowa 58-57 with the ball. And here are those moments where you're working with young, young men who want to be boys. Tough to be a man, and somebody's going to have to step up for Illinois State if they have hopes here. And Northern Iowa, how will they play it in? To whom? And there's the foul before the ball can be passed in. I believe it was Oguchi who knocked down Ali Faroukmanesh. Second foul on Oguchi, and we were wondering who might the star be, and you're right. Ali Faroukmanesh, who was very quiet the entire game, has 11 points, almost all of those in the second half.
Yes, and he made those 2 threes in the overtime period to get some separation. Has not taken a free throw in the game so far. So this is pressure. The good thing about it for the Redbirds, no time went off the clock.
Looking for his 12th point of the game. Right down the bottom of the well.
Oh.
It he makes this one. 6.8 seconds left for Illinois State.
Plenty of time.
So a 3-point lead, and a team that lived on the 3 ball throughout the season and this tournament, Illinois State, will need a big one now. 6.8 to go. Northern Iowa by 3. It's a 1-1 situation for Illinois State, and they're trailing by 3. When do you foul with knowing that 2 free throws won't beat you?
Well, I think my personal opinion is it's got to be under 5 seconds. If you foul sooner than that, it leaves way much. Too many things can happen. But under 5 seconds, I would grab them as they're coming up the floor.
Pressure in the backcourt. They get it to Osiris Eldridge with 4, with 3. It's Holloway. Osiris Eldridge deep on the side, misses the shot. He couldn't come up with one more miracle, and Northern Iowa has won the State Farm Missouri Valley Conference Tournament